Hi, Portsmouth School Department. Hey, hope you're enjoying the long weekend. Recently, I sat down with some students at the high school, and one of them asked me if I was no longer doing these videos. And I realized something I already knew anyways, which was, it's good to let people know what the sequencing of communication is going to be. So just to clarify, what I'm shooting for is about every other week. I'll check in with you for just a few minutes. So two quick things this week as we move into the short week here with a little bit of messy winter weather coming down. The first is just a big thank you. I want to thank some of our staff. We have an amazing set of schools, and part of the reason why we have an amazing set of schools is because we have so many dedicated people who work for us. And as some of you know, at least those of you who have students at New Franklin, during the holiday break, the day after Christmas, we had a pipe burst and we had a bunch of water damage over at New Franklin. And some of the administrators, I was away, the principal at New Franklin was away, Ms. Simons. And what we got, when we got the first pictures about what was happening, we also got a message from our custodial maintenance staff, and that was, we will be open for the first day when we come back, which was awesome. They were just committed, like kids are not gonna miss school. Now, ultimately, I got back and we ended up taking a peek, and we decided that they had done everything they needed to do, but we needed to make sure we gave teachers a little bit more time who were in the affected rooms. So we had some of those rooms offline. But our custodial maintenance staff, they came in, they did a ton of work during a period of time where most of us want to be home with our families. And so I just want to thank Ken Lynchy, our director, Eddie O'Connell, Ian Fox, and Matt Cantris for all the work they did during that break. Second thing I just want to mention is in relation to why we're off today. Now, in communities, we set aside holidays that are important dates that both show what our values are as a community and give us an opportunity to think deeply about those values. And we don't always do it, right? We all, take the time as just kind of vacation and go off and do other things. But it's important on a day that is set aside to think about the important work of civil rights leaders in general, and most specifically the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. To think, about two aspects of it I think about a lot. One is, as an educational leader and as a leader in your school system, my personal values are that what we do, one of the most essential things we do in the schools is the schools should be the great equalizer. Every single person who walks through our doors should have an opportunity to get what they need through Portsmouth Public Schools. And that shouldn't matter whether you have a comparatively more amount of pigment in your skin. It shouldn't matter based on who you love. It shouldn't matter if you were born with a disability. That these are your schools too. And we should be doing everything we possibly can to maximize what it is that you get out of those schools. The other thing that it makes me think about is just how hard that work is. It's not easy to do. It's a lot easier to talk a good game about it and to not really, when push comes to shove, do it. So, and as I think about that, I can think about an example. Just recently, ironically, we came to the conclusion is that we had a combination of adult and student-based equity council that had been developed a year or so back in the district. And just recently we came to the decision that the way in which it was currently set up, it had done what it needed to do, and that we were gonna have to do some other type of work in order to advance equity here in the school district. And it was a great reminder that it's not linear. This work of trying to create more equitable schools that serve everybody in Portsmouth, that it goes and starts in fits, and you have to be diligent and you have to keep pushing. And of course, I'm here at the memorial downtown, the African burial ground, and we know that that Portsmouth has a long history of trying to figure these matters out. So I hope, as we move into strategic planning, and we're about to take another step on that soon, that as a community, we think about what's important for us as a school district. I hope that I discover that our collective values are in line with that concept that I was talking about before. That we want equitable schools, and we want schools that are set up for everybody, regardless of their characteristics, that every human being is welcome, and every human being is going to get what they need. So I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I hope that that if you haven't done so already, and in between football games and the Celtics, take a few minutes to think about the important work of civil rights for all people, and let's see what we can do collectively together around those issues. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday.